Time for a wash. This thing is a mess. Yeah, I'd say that looks a little better. Or you could even tell what color the truck was. Or that the trailer was made out of stainless. That makes me feel better. Well, good morning. Hopefully this comes out all right. It is windy and man, is it cold. But figure we'll start before we really get into how this truck's been. We'll do my pre-trip quick. Pull my pin out. Maybe I could get this with one hand. I get these pretty tight. Oh no, we got her. Maybe not that one. Oh, yep, we got her. Ugh. One good thing to do if you got a bumper like this, like I've got this herd here, or you've got an alley arc, is to lube these with anti-seize. Otherwise they start getting rust in the threads and they're just a pain. And right now I'm holding a bumper with my head, but strap her down, pop the hood. There's at least one thing under the hood I want to talk about here as far as my overall 100,000 mile review. And this is the part where you be kind of careful. There we go. Check my oil. Get my pre-trip all done. Yeah, we're good there. There we go. Check my belts. I can reach it on this side, check everything else. Power steering fluid's up. Doesn't look like my fuel filter's got a lot of restriction. Alright, so one thing that I really don't like is where the washer fluid location is. So here's the fill, and the tank is under the cab right above the air horn there. That's really dumb, and I'll show you why. If I can find my keys. Like I said, guys, sorry if the wind is really screwing up the audio here, but not much I can do out here in Ohio. So, get some washer fluid. I'll show you one of two things that's really dumb that they really could have done better. Get my lid open. So when you go to pour this in, you can't just send it, see? It just fills that up, and you gotta pour it slow enough that this empties out into that, because, you know, a 3/8 hose or maybe a 1/2 inch hose is all it is to fill this up. So one, it takes you forever to fill it, and two, it doesn't even hold a whole gallon. Like if that's empty, this will not fit in there if it's full. So that's kind of a poor design. I mean, I'm really splitting hairs complaining about that, but it's just one of those things could have done a lot better. Like, I don't know, put the whole jug under the hood somewhere. So get that put away. Nice thing is, though, the truck's looking good after the wash. Just kind of inspect everything else. Have a look at my brakes, which still look great. Check steering components. No hoses twisted, none of that. Same thing over here. Check my belts. Tensioner's good. A little bit of ice out of there. Coolant's good. Everything looks fairly good under the hood here. Go walk around and do the rest of our pre-trip. Oh. The one thing I will say, and you guys that drive 379s and 389s know this well, is that it doesn't matter if your truck is brand new or 20 years old, your hood's gonna squeak on the rubber pads that it sits on up here. No squeaks out of this one. I don't have to lube them, put rags on them, any of that. So there is that. Hold it up with my head again. Yeah. It is brutally cold right now. I mean, I'm glad it's in the positive temperatures, because it's been in the negatives for a while, but this wind chill is terrible. Just cut through my gloves and my hat. Make sure we get this tight, because I don't want to listen to this rattle going down the road. Drop her back in. There we go. Whew. Now I'll start the truck up. Dog's already been out to the bathroom, so that's good. I only have a little more time in the cold. Oh, my pinky's frozen. Also, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go around, check all my lights. So that's what this guy's for. Just go ahead and hit that. She'll run through all your lights. Alright. That looks pretty good up there. Turn signal's working there. Give my tires a kick while I'm coming around. Make sure all my lights are working back here. Make sure my pin's still locked. Good time to look at the brakes. Again, 100,000 miles on this truck. Brakes still look excellent. Everything looks pretty good. Tires a kick. Oh, God, my pinky's cold. Hold my phone with the other hand. Same thing back here, of course. Look for leaks in your hubcaps. Kick your tires. You could bump your tires with a stick or something, but I just kick them. Make sure my trailer lights are working. Tail lights. Brake lights. Both turn signals. Lights up there are working. Brakes on the trailer look good. You can see them up there. Oh, oh boy, that wind just cuts right through you. Oh. Yeah, well, everything looks good. I could finally get out of this weather. But, you know, this is a typical start of a day in the life of a trucker. Doesn't matter what temperature it is. You gotta do this stuff. Oh. And then to cancel the light check, just push it down. Everything goes back to normal. I'll go into my E-log there, go to my pre-trip stuff, and then enter my new pre-trip, going through everything, get that taken care of. Then we can get on the road. I'm gonna bump the idle up a little bit just to keep the wind, because it's blowing really hard into the grill, keep it from getting the truck too cool. And yeah, get my pre-trip entered, make sure I got everything I need that I want to drink, my morning snack, and we'll get on the road. All right, well, we're finally ready to hit the road. Kick high idle off. Let's get out of here. Make sure the brakes release. When it's this cold, I never set my trailer brakes just because I don't feel like going out and beating on them. I actually had, when I picked this trailer up, I had to go around with my hammer and tap on the shoes and the drums to get them to break free. All right. Now, as far as this truck has handled the last, we're at 106,000 miles. I'm quite impressed with it. Other than the stupid washer fluid bottle situation under the hood, which I'm sure they can improve, I haven't had really any issues with this truck. I figure 100,000 driving on the roads I drive on. If you've ever been in Indiana, Ohio, New York, New Jersey, them are some rough roads. So the chassis and cab is really going to get rattled around. And in that 100,000 miles, there is not a single squeak or rattle in this truck, which I find actually really good. You know, a lot of Freightliners I've driven, they'll start to get a little squeaks where the dash plastics meet. Other trucks just kind of sound like a rolling oil drum going down the road, but this one's still bank vault quiet inside. Pretty impressive. And there's a couple other critiques I could make about the truck, but they're small, inconsequential things. One being the mirror-mounted CD antennas. If you're running just a regular whip, say 3 or 4 feet, it's absolutely useless. You get too much reflection off the cab. They don't pop up high enough, and you can burn your radio out because you just can't get the thing to dead key right. So what I ended up doing is putting Wilson stainless steel extensions in there to push them up another 10 inches, and it's okay now, but it's kind of a bad design the way they got them set up. I know they do offer them where the antennas are mounted at the back of the cab, but if you're pulling a van trailer, you're running the same issue with reflection. I would have liked to see the antennas in this particular truck, especially with the mid-roof 72 or 73, sorry, mounted on the cab, kind of like Peterbilt does, one of their antenna mount options. Get out of the petrol here. I forgot to take my plate out of my microwave. That's going to be a rattle. It annoys me a lot. That's the only rattle I get, is when I completely forget to take the turntable out. Especially when you're pulling liquid, and a lot of times you can't avoid the slosh. It hits, and then shakes the microwave. But as far as my trip today, I've got 8 hours of driving, roughly, going upstate New York from the middle of Ohio here. Well, middle-ish. I'm in Toledo. Yeah, I haven't had a single issue with the X15 other than that previously mentioned emissions issue I had at like 60,000 miles, and that was like a NOx sensor or something. Just nothing too big to write home about. Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot of critiques for International on this one, other than the really dumb washer fluid thing that kind of peeves me off. It froze once too, not the system underneath, but it froze at the wipers because they face the nozzles up. So if you get any kind of precipitation, it gets cold and freezes, it just plugs them. That's probably an easy fix. I did it on my Kenworth where I flipped them over to point down so stuff doesn't land in them. And going down the road, it does a better job covering the windshield. But I don't know why truck manufacturers haven't figured that one out yet. Another thing, and this is just a general criticism of trucks these days anyway, is what is it with a lot of these newer trucks that don't have a driver's side armrest on the seat? You know, Mac's that way, these are that way. I know the Kenworths and Peterbilts aren't, but I just put my elbow on a hard door panel all day is less than ideal. And I'm sure I'll come up with more as I kind of get set up. God, that's going to drive me crazy. But I don't feel like stopping again. Usually once I'm rolling, I'm rolling. I don't, I'll put up with things that irritate me. Yeah. Also, I just noticed that when I went under the bridge. Auto headlights on these trucks. What the hell? I mean, seriously, there's an auto position. But even if you have them in off and you go under, say, a bridge, they're going to turn on anyway. You can't actually control whether your headlights are on or off. So why even give the option? That drives me nuts. If I just want to swipe my wipers once or something like that, it'll kick the headlights on. You know, yeah, drive with your lights on for safety, but I don't know. But you got a truck covered with chicken lights. I really don't like running with the headlights on because we all like to look cool. So there's that. Get through the cash box here. Pass accepted. I hope so. The one thing about pulling liquid is there's all different kinds of densities. Some of them are a lot easier to keep in check and other ones aren't. This particular one, it's got a lot of solids in it. So it's a little harder to keep in line behind you. Just kind of got to shift around it the best you can. That's why I prefer a manual transmission. It gives me a better opportunity to do that. Plus just absolute control over the truck. Winter weather driving inspires way more confidence when you can control the truck. A little bump there, nothing too bad. Yeah, I mean, this rig holds its own in any situation. I had my first real winter weather trailer truck going through that snowstorm that rolled through the Midwest, you know, old Iowa and all that. I mean, I was on snow-covered roads, ice-covered roads, and this truck did a really good job holding to the road. I was empty too, so, you know, running a pace that you're comfortable with, but the truck wasn't stepping out on me. The front end stayed glued to whatever it could. Obviously, if it was on clear ice, you're not going to help that. But it wasn't darty, you know, you really didn't have to white knuckle it through it. And traction control on this truck, this is the first like real modern truck I've spent a lot of time in, and I gotta say the traction control is nice. All my older trucks, you know, you pedal your way through it, you know, you just learn to deal with that. But this truck will always keep it back in line. If you start stepping out a little bit under throttle, it'll back you off, bring the truck back over. I mean, it physically doesn't bring the truck over, just cutting power where it needs to cut power will bring you back in line. Which, that's a benefit for me, because now all truck makers move the Johnny bar, or the trailer brake handle, to the dash or something stupid instead of having it where it belongs on the column, which that way you can keep a hand on the wheel and just tap down on the Johnny bar if you need to snap everything back. But I do think it's quite funny, because, you know, you get these newer guys that'll drive these trucks where your engine brake is on the column and you pull it down to set, you know, 1, 2, 3 on your engine brake. Put them in an older truck sometime and I go to do that, just reef down on that Johnny bar and lock the trailer up. That'll be fun to watch. Oh, excuse me, I needed a drink of water there. Yeah, I mean, when the microwave ain't rattling, it's pretty quiet ride in here. There's a little extra wind noise because my chop tops I put on here actually buff the wind a little bit, but it's nice because I am a smoker, so not having all the wind or snow or rain blow in and smash me in the face is good. Yeah, very comfortable truck to live in. Lots of room, more storage than anything else I've ever been in. Better use of the space in a truck than anything else. I mean, as much as I love Kenworths and their studio sleepers or any aero cab sleeper in general, we all gotta admit, especially on the B model cab, they are dated, severely dated. They just, they never made anything within those bunks for the modern day. You still got the old school TV strap and all that. You know, just for modern living in a truck with flat screens and all the crap that we have now, they're not the most useful bunks. They still look good as far as like their button tuck and all that, but I mean, you want something that's truly easy to live in, this is kind of the best thing you can get. New Pete's are pretty good, but you're also spending, you know, another 15-20% to buy the Pete over this, which there is merit in that because of resale and all that. But still, I mean, if you're looking for a good truck, this one does the job. I've been living in this on the road since May, so I put 106,000 miles on the truck since May. We're in the middle of January now. That's a lot of nights, and there's not a day I dread being in this truck, really. It's smooth, even though it's a 235-inch wheelbase. It rides a lot like a low air leaf Pete, which is weird because I'm not the biggest fan of Hendrickson suspension. I kind of got soured by them with their Primex suspension, which in my opinion is garbage. You know, you can't really can't work them too hard. I had them on a couple quad axles and we'd snap beams, and they just didn't work for the application we had them in that they recommended them for. But this is basically a Hendrickson Z-spring, which has always been a fairly robust suspension, so it does a really good job. Hey, the truck is heavy. I have mentioned that before, especially in the first video. But it is what it is. A friend of mine's got a 24 389 with the stand-up bunk, not the big 78, the one just under that without the windows. He's also got a herd bumper on his with an APU, and he's 400 pounds lighter than me. And these cabs, specifically the HX cab, is built heavier, more bracing and all that. So, I mean, you're still within the realm. I have seen like flat top Pete's with the tank trailer that weigh in at 30 to 31,000 that are quite a bit lighter. But you're talking an over-the-road truck, something that's gonna hold up to all the pounding miles on these crap roads. You just do what you can do. Yeah, it sucks to be a little heavier. You can't haul as much. You know, you get some places breathing out, you know, down your neck about, you know, every penny of a load. But do you want something that's going to hold up, or do you want something that's going to rattle to death or fall apart? I believe the empty weight of this truck, or the sticker up on the visor there, it's 19,000. It's 19,000 something pounds. It's mid 19,000 empty before the bumper, before the APU, and I weigh 32.7 full of fuel with the trailer, with the herd bumper, with the APU. So it's a fairly heavy truck. It's a substantial truck, is what I should say. So it's really, you're not losing a whole much. It's not heavy for heavy's sake. That's the nice part. It's just built well. I mean, other than that damn microwave, you can't hear a single rattle in this truck. That's impressive. You know, you'd think international, with all the LTs and Pro Stars and all that you can see on the road, that they actually wouldn't be that good of quality, but they are. This is actually pretty good quality truck. One recommendation for international, though, if you want to make some more money, is get rid of the Lone Star. I'm not a big fan of the look of those. Make an extended hood version of this truck, and then set it up so it's got the same cab mounts as a Lone Star, so the cab and sleeper and the hood and everything sit lower over the chassis. The hell is it? Yeah. I don't know what the hell he was talking about, but anyway, I was saying, yeah, make a lower cab, long hood version of this truck. You probably sell a lot more of those than you do Lone Stars. So there you go, international. You can cut me a check later for when you do it and you make money. But these trucks actually have been.
Nah, I just letting you know you were clear to the right of him. It was wide open, but I saw you go around him on the left. You're good.
That's someone running in the middle lane. No, I've seen. Anyway. HXs have become quite popular, especially out here. I see a lot of them. It's nice to see that they are, because people are seeing that this is a good truck. It's a good alternative to the other big hood contenders. Granted, this doesn't have the extended hood like, say, a W990 or 389 or the 589. But one thing that this has that the W990 doesn't is air cams and better looks, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's all I can really think about right now. I'm trying to focus on the road, of course. So I will, I'll check in with you guys a little later when I get up, get fuel, and kind of continue basic 100,000 mile review of this truck, and for the non-truckers, what it's like to be a trucker for a day. So we'll see you in a bit. Well, figured it's time to top off the fuel tanks. I'm a creature of habit. I usually stop same places, get fuel, top off. This particular top off will get me into New York State, delivered down to Maryland and back to Ohio, where I'll fuel up again. But that fuel's pretty good here, $3.50 a gallon. Gonna see if get a shower available here. I always like, if I'm gonna grab my showers, I like doing it here. They got some really nice ones, so see what we can do. There's a nice shower. That's why I like it here. Get everything you need, so get cleaned up, get back on the road. Oh, well, there we go. I feel a lot better. Clean truck, clean me. Life on the road. That dog's still there, that's good. Oh. Even got my half-hour break in. Well, you can't beat that. Now it's 4.5 hours to my destination. I don't have to deliver till early morning, but I'll get there, I don't know, 5-6 hours early, relax, eat dinner, and that'll make for a good day. I'll tell you that much. Well, so what happens at the end of the day of running when you're on the road? Well, time to shut down, start my 10-hour break, and of course, gotta eat. So what do? I mean, you can eat in a restaurant, you can get some cold food, you can have a sandwich, you can have some chips. I try to eat healthy on the road because when I first went over the road, I gained 30 pounds like that, just eating like crap. So I'm gonna fire up my old air fryer and I'm gonna have a steak tonight. Some just a little boneless sizzler sirloin, just something I like having protein in my diet. So we'll get this fired up, get it set to grill, get that preheating. Now while I'm doing that, I'm gonna season my steak. Get the wrapper off here. Get this thing ready to go. Now one thing, if you're going to use an air fryer in a truck, you want to make sure that one, your inverter can handle it. Mine can, I've got a pretty stout inverter, and two, these do produce a little bit of smoke when you're cooking beef, especially hamburgers. So crack some windows open. I always pop a bunk window and then I usually open a window up front, get all the smoke and stuff cleared out while I'm cooking. But we'll get this steak seasoned up here. Grab some good old-fashioned Worcestershire sauce. There's a little bit on it. Back in the fridge. I always like a little garlic salt. And a little pepper on my steak. Beef is a big part of my diet. That's usually beef in terms of steak or hamburger, and then a couple pork chops a week. And then also, one thing I really enjoy with my meals, taking my freezer here. There we go. It's these little guys. These are the best thing I found on the road to get vegetables easily without making a mess. These are pretty much, yeah, they could be 2 servings. It's a single serving for me. But this is rice cauliflower. I've got corn, broccoli in here. They work great. Just throw it in the microwave, pour it in a bowl, and away you go. They already got the butter and everything in them. So that's the best way to do it. So I'm gonna let this warm up. We'll throw the steak in, and I never run both my air fryer and the microwave at the same time. So I'll get the steak done to where it'll rest for 5 minutes, and in that time I can cook my vegetables. Well, it's time to flip the old steak here. I can get it to work with me. Come on. There we go. Throw a little seasoning on that side. And of course, a little pepper. Let her eat for a little more time. Flip it one more time with about 2 to 3 minutes remaining. We'll have ourselves a perfect steak. Well, there we go. And there we go, dinner on the road. We got a nice, properly cooked steak. We got our veggies, and of course, since I'm a Wisconsin boy, gotta have some milk with dinner, using the old air fryer and the microwave. So I'm gonna dig in. I'm not gonna make you guys watch me, but yeah, you can actually eat good on the road. Well, with dinner done, get my privacy curtains closed, dogs all comfy, and you know, kick back and enjoy the night. Get ready to fall asleep. So we turn our lights off. There we go. We got a nice, cozy little place to kick back, hang out, watch some TV, and call her a night. We'll talk to you in the morning. Well, guys, that pretty much wraps this video up. Well, number one, my 100,000 mile review of the International HX 520. What can I say? This truck in 100,000 miles has been absolutely perfect. You know, like I said, no squeaks, rattles, a couple of dumb design choices like the windshield washer fluid bottle. But other than that, this thing's been rock solid. Just nothing really to complain about, but the truck, the chassis, the cab, anything like that. We only had that one emissions issues with the X15, the efficiency series Cummins, which nowadays, especially post-COVID, seems to be pretty common that within the first 100,000 miles you're going to have some sort of emissions issue. It is what it is. Other than that, the engine's performed flawlessly as well. Just nothing but good things to say about this package as a whole. Livability is phenomenal. I mean, you look at the inside of even Pete's and stuff, and there's just not this kind of use of space that International offers. I mean, there's so much storage room in this truck. I probably carry an extra 400 pounds of crap just because I could put it in here. So that's wonderful. A great truck to live in, great truck to drive. I'm loving it, still loving it. So hopefully, you know, this gives you guys a little bit of an idea, if you want to get one of these trucks, how it's going to progress with you operating it. And for everyone else who's not a trucker watching this, hopefully you enjoyed kind of what it's like to live a day in the life of a truck driver. A lot of driving, and well, we do the same things, just our house rolls down the road. So hopefully you enjoyed this video as a whole. I wanted to put something out for my trucking brothers and sisters, as you know, kind of show that outside of my garage, yeah, I've got a day job. Most of us do, so there's that. And of course, you can find the first review on this truck when I first got it, all of my other projects that I've either gotten done or still working on, right here on YouTube at T.N.T. Garage and Performance. You can find me on Facebook at T.N.T. Garage and Performance, and on Instagram at T.N.T. Garage and Performance. Now, don't forget to go down, you know, subscribe to the channel, like, share it to your friends. Go ahead and comment if you have to. And, well, I guess just remember, until next time, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. We'll see you soon.